I like to think of it as if I started out as this celestial being, this just energy, and the universe or God or whomever said, hey, do you want to go to Earth for an incredibly short amount of time, like a blip, and experience every emotion that you could possibly feel as a human? You get to have all these experiences: love, heartache, anxiety, joy, euphoria, whatever, all of it. Do you want to do that? Yeah, I do.
I've looked at people sometimes and been able to feel that, and I don't even know who they are. I recognized Gandhi, but there are a lot of people who seem lost and so on. And if you can smile at them and speak to them and recognize them, people are waiting to be recognized. That's what Gandhi did when he looked at me and I looked at him. I recognized him and he recognized me. And that's still with me.
There are people who come in your life sometimes to be there for a season. They weren't meant to be there always. Sometimes we find ourselves hooked up with people that we think are there for a lifetime, but they were only supposed to be there for a season. There are people who come in your life like boosters for a rocket. If you ever watch a rocket go into space, the boosters fall off when it reaches a certain altitude. Some people are not equipped to handle the altitudes that you're going to. So don't be afraid when they fall off. They're not bad people. They just couldn't go where you're going.
So I became a Paralympian because I contracted meningococcal septicemia or meningitis type C when I was 15, a year in hospital, etc. But I now look at that as the worst and best thing that ever happened to me. Worst for obvious reasons, but best, completely different outlook on life. Made me take opportunities, gave me a drive, find things in the mundane that other people perhaps miss, and been able to do all these amazing things.
Wow. And I think you've done Kilimanjaro as well.
I have indeed, yes. Yeah, I forgot that one, didn't I? So yeah, the idea was I wanted to get up in a wheelchair, and when the wheelchair couldn't cope, I crawled for 4 days on my hands and knees to get to the summit. So bit daft, but again, finding these opportunities. Life gets interesting outside your comfort zone, doesn't it?
Absolutely incredible. Thank you. Let's move on then. So single best piece of advice.
Single best piece of advice. Right, okay. So I was finding it difficult to come up with a single piece of advice because I've had so many over the years. But the one I'm going to go with is this, and it's a little bit different, but you can leave the gym feeling better than when you went into the gym. So as an elite athlete, there's this temptation to push 100% all the time. And if I'm being honest, there's only so many times you can go to the well in a week. If you're training to complete failure, there is a point where you're going to break yourself or you're going to make yourself ill. And it's that thing where, your mind starts to play tricks on you. You're thinking, oh my God, I'm not training to my absolute maximum all the time. I'm not potentially going to get that medal. But actually, sometimes doing less is more important. And on those days when I'd go into the gym and, I'd look at my watch, my heart rate would be up and I wasn't quite right. We'd take our foot off the gas. We'd take it a little bit easy and we needed to. And I would leave the gym feeling better than when I went in. We'd do a big stretching session. I'd still lift some weights, but it's not always appropriate to go balls to the wall flat out all the time.
One idea can change everything. I believe that each of us at work, at home and in life has the power to make a positive difference, and that's what drives me. I'm Dan, husband, dad, and someone who helps people and businesses achieve what they thought was impossible. That belief is what's led me to start this channel, The Butterfly Effect. A single piece of advice shared at just the right moment can ripple outward. A former Buddhist monk told me about his teacher's teacher, a simple forest monk so wise that 1 million people, including a king, came to his funeral. Now, SAS soldiers, FTSE 100 leaders, Paralympians and more share that one piece of advice that changed everything for them in just 5 minutes. Subscribe, share, and let's see how far this ripple effect can go.